There's a stray cat outside your house right now, and the way it sees you is nothing like what you've been told. Not what you look like to it, not what it thinks of you, not how it's categorizing you in the moment its eyes land on your face. By the end of this video, you'll be able to look at any stray cat on your street and know, within 10 seconds, whether it sees you as a threat, a stranger, or someone it's already quietly decided to trust. And the science behind that decision is stranger and more precise than almost anyone realizes. Let's start with what's actually happening when a stray cat looks at you. Their visual system is fundamentally different from yours. Cats have roughly 20/150 vision, which means the world they see is softer, less detailed, and more motion-dependent than your own. Their color spectrum is muted, blues and grays and faded yellows, so your bright jacket reads to them as something closer to gray. But here's what they gain in exchange: a visual field of around 200 degrees versus your 180. Motion detection so sensitive that a hand lifting 6 feet away registers immediately. And in low light, they can see 6 times better than you. At dawn, at dusk, when stray cats are most active, they see you more clearly than you see them. Keep that in mind. Chapter 1. The Misconception. Here's the myth that's worth dismantling right at the start. People assume that stray cats see all humans as the same thing: a threat, a nuisance, a vending machine that occasionally drops food near the dumpster. The reality is more precise and, honestly, more interesting. Strays don't see humans as a category. They see individuals, and they slot each one into roughly 3 positions almost immediately: threat, neutral unknown, potential resource. The science behind this goes back to Dr. John Bradshaw's work on cat-human perception. Bradshaw, one of the leading researchers in anthropology, argues that cats are acutely aware that humans are not cats. We don't signal with tails. We don't have mobile ears. We smell completely wrong. But here is the key distinction with strays specifically. Unlike indoor cats, who develop their human model through years of cohabitation, a stray is running its assessment in real time, on a stranger, with no prior data. What makes this possible is that cats are a self-domesticated species. They didn't get recruited the way dogs did. They moved in, evaluated the situation, and decided the arrangement suited them. That evolutionary independence means their read on you isn't filtered through 10,000 years of selective breeding for compliance. It's raw, it's honest, and with a stray, it's also cautious in ways that reveal just how sophisticated the underlying system actually is. Chapter 2. The 90-second audit. The moment a stray cat notices you, a very specific process begins. Researchers who study feral and semi-feral cat behavior describe what happens in the first 90 seconds of a cat-human encounter as a rapid risk assessment. Think of it as a biological checklist running at high speed. First, your gait. Are you moving directly toward the cat or at an angle? Direct approach reads as predatory. An indirect, slightly curved path reads as non-threatening. The cat clocks this within the first few steps. Second, your eye contact. Sustained direct eye contact is an aggressive signal in feline body language. A stray, watching you stare it down, is watching a creature that doesn't understand the first thing about its social grammar. A slow blink or a soft, averted gaze registers as something closer to peace. Third, your hand position. Hands extended toward the cat, especially moving toward the cat, trigger the same alarm system that a predator's reach would. Hands low, or behind you, or simply still at your sides, reduce threat signals dramatically. Fourth, your volume. Stray cats can hear between 45 and 85,000 hertz. Your voice is somewhere in the low end of that range, but the tone and the decibel level matter enormously. Loud, sudden sounds activate the startle response. A low, steady murmur or simple quiet registers as calm. Fifth, and this is the one most people never think about, your scent is already arriving before you do. All of this is running simultaneously in a brain built for fast decisions under conditions where a wrong read could mean death. The 90-second audit isn't metaphorical. It is the stray cat's actual survival mechanism applied to you. Chapter 3. The Secure Base Hierarchy. Here's where the science gets both beautiful and a little humbling. Research from Oregon State University, the same secure base study that changed how we think about indoor cats, demonstrated that cats form genuine attachment bonds with humans. In that study, 65% of cats showed secure attachment behavior after separation from their owner, a figure matching the proportion observed in human infants. But strays operate on a much longer timeline to get there. An indoor cat builds its secure base over days and weeks of consistent contact. A stray can take months. And the reason comes back to the audit. Every time you appear in that cat's territory, it reruns a version of the same assessment. Consistent results, meaning you consistently pass, are what allow a stray to move up what researchers sometimes describe as a trust ladder. The early stages are simple. Tolerance. You exist nearby and nothing bad happens. Then recognition. The cat distinguishes you specifically from other humans. Then something that functions like anticipation. The cat begins to predict your presence before you arrive. The later stages involve physical proximity and eventually something that looks, by every behavioral measure, like genuine attachment. We'll get into the full breakdown of those stages next week. But the point here is that a stray isn't withholding trust out of indifference. It's managing risk. And the path forward is slower than most people expect, and more deliberate than almost anyone realizes. Chapter 4. Social referencing in reverse. You might already know that bonded indoor cats use their owners as emotional barometers. New vacuum cleaner rolls into the room, cat glances at your face, reads your expression, decides whether to panic or stay put. That's social referencing, and it's a real, documented phenomenon. Strays do something related, but structurally different. They don't just check your face, they check the entire neighborhood's behavior. Before a stray cat decides what you represent, it watches how other humans interact with other cats in the same space. If it has observed you shooing a different cat away, that data is filed. If it's watched you leave food near the colony without trying to trap or grab anyone, that's filed too. This is what we can call reverse social referencing. Instead of using you as the anchor for reading the environment, the stray is using the environment's collective behavior to build its model of you specifically. Other cats in the area matter here as well. A cat that has watched a colony member accept food from you without consequence is receiving indirect information about your threat level. You are being evaluated by your history with others, not just your behavior toward the stray itself. This is why people who feed one cat in a neighborhood often find that other cats begin appearing. The information travels, and it travels because strays are running a social network of trust signals that most humans never even notice is operating. Chapter 5. The Scent Memory. When a stray cat encounters your scent, it isn't just registering that a human was nearby, it's reading a chemical autobiography. Cats have a sense of smell roughly 14 times more powerful than yours, and what they are cataloging is specific and layered. Your cortisol levels, which shift when you're stressed or anxious, change the chemical composition of your sweat. A stray cat detects that shift and files it as part of its model of you. This is why your emotional state genuinely matters in these encounters, not in a vague metaphorical sense, but in a direct biochemical one. If you approach a stray while your body is radiating stress hormones, the cat is reading those as warning signals regardless of how calm you're trying to appear. Beyond emotional markers, your scent also carries information about what you've eaten recently, what other animals you've been in contact with, and whether you carry the residual scent of other cats, which can either reassure or alarm depending on the context. Here's what makes this remarkable for strays specifically. Once that scent profile is established, a stray can retain and recognize it for months. Researchers believe cats use scent memory as one of their primary tools for individual recognition. If you've been leaving food in the same spot for weeks and then stop for 2 weeks and return, the cat recognizes your scent before it sees your face. You were never anonymous to it. You were just a profile it was still evaluating. Chapter 6. Why they choose one house. This is the question most people actually want answered. Why does the stray pick that porch and not the one next door? The answer isn't random, and it isn't purely about food, though food matters. Strays select locations based on a consistent cluster of signals that accumulate over time. Low-threat human behavior is the foundation. If the residents of a given house consistently pass the 90-second audit, meaning their gait, their eye contact, their sound level, and their scent profile all register as non-threatening, that house becomes associated with safety. Social referencing data from the surrounding block reinforces or undermines that assessment. Calm energy from everyone a stray observes at a location compounds. Scent traces of edible things, wet, her actual food, or simply the smell of cooking drifting from a window are logged as resource signals. And critically, there needs to be a clear exit route. A stray will not commit to a space that feels like a trap, even a comfortable one. The porch with a gap under the railing beats the enclosed courtyard with a full bowl. Every time. If you want a stray to choose your space, the most actionable thing you can do is lower every threat signal you control. Move slowly when you're near it. Don't stare. Sit on the ground if you can, reducing your vertical height, which reads as less predatory. Leave food in the same spot at the same time. Let it leave whenever it wants. Consistency and predictability are what strays are actually scanning for. You're not trying to seem friendly. You're trying to seem like a stable, low-risk fixture in a world that is mostly neither. When a stray cat looks at you, it isn't seeing a person the way you might imagine being seen. It's running a probability assessment, safety likelihood, food likelihood, exit availability, threat coefficient. It's processing your gait, your cortisol levels, your eye contact duration, the behavioral history it has observed from across the street, and the scent record it has built over every prior encounter. What you look like to it visually is a large, somewhat soft-edged shape with significant motion detection salience. What you represent to it, which is the thing that actually matters, is a calculation it is constantly updating. And the moment that calculation tips past a threshold, the moment your consistency and calm energy become statistically reliable in its model, you stop being an unknown variable. You become a landmark, a fixed point in its map of what is safe. That shift is quiet. You might not notice it happening, but the cat already knows. Next week we go deeper, the exact 9 signs a stray cat has decided to trust you. Some of them happen so fast most people miss the first 3. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and so the cats on your street start making a lot more sense.